Quick question, guys. How do you get fired for being too good at your job? Because according to today's plaintiff, she was the nanny every parent says that they want. But then she got fired without any notice. And meanwhile, I'm sure the parents are saying that there was a whole lot more to the story. And Judge Hatchett is about to figure out whether these parents let go of the world's greatest nanny or whether somebody's leaving out a few chapters. So let's just see how this all plays out.
I had been a nanny for them for the past 10 months, and I was basically family. I had a room in the house in case I had to stay over. I had my own home as well. And I was scheduled to be there from 9 to 5 every day, but occasionally they would request overtime with or without notice, which of course is against the contract. And they very suddenly terminated my, my employment.
What happened? What happened? Did you terminate her employment?
Yes, we did, Your Honor.
And why did you do that?
There were numerous instances. This was kind of a slow building over time.
Okay, so tell me what happened.
Yeah, so specifically there were instances, I mean, we can show you some evidence specifically, but overall there was an image that she posted online of our child injured. I mean, there was a gash and she even mentioned our names. We both work very public. She has her own business that she runs. I work in an auto shop myself. People know our names, and we just didn't want that kind of...
She posted your child's picture.
Yes, Your Honor.
With an injury.
Yes.
With an injury.
And
our
saying,
names.
And your names.
Our names.
And saying what about you?
She was saying that the super nanny, saves the bronze again and that she wouldn't survive without us.
Let me see this evidence, please.
That they wouldn't survive without her.
To be clear, Your Honor, I did not cause the injury. I don't want that. I don't want it to sound like that.
Why in the world would you post? First of all, how old is this child?
2 years old.
So, what in the world? Let me see this.
Yeah.
Why in the world would you post a picture of their child injured and make this comment? Why would you do that? I didn't say you caused the accident, but why would you do that?
Well, Your Honor, it was an extremely stressful day. I had come in at 9 o'clock, as I always do, and when I got there, she's passed out on the floor. And Julius was...
Wait a minute, what do you mean passed out on the floor?
Their daughter, Bethany, was screaming her head off, and their son, Julius, was bleeding from the head.
Wait. So you have responsibility for 2 children?
Yes.
And one is 3 years old. The little boy is 3 years old.
The little boy is 2 years old.
2 years old.
That's Julius, and Bethany is 4.
Exactly.
So you come in, she's passed out on the floor. You were passed out on the floor?
I am so grateful that Janine arrived and that she was able to handle the situation. I had passed out on account of Julius running out from his bedroom into the kitchen and bleeding profusely. I was not doing well with blood and just actually passed out that morning.
Your Honor, she's a mother who can't handle the sight of blood. How is that even responsible?
Okay, there's no need for that. Like, I mean, my wife had something that she deals with. That isn't something we need to be bringing up here in court like that. She has a phobia of blood. You know, just the sight of it makes her faint.
Okay.
This had not happened to this degree before. So we're very happy that she was there to help my wife out. But,
right.
I mean...
Well, but, I mean, if she has a phobia, it seems to me that you're being very judgmental. I mean, there are different people who have different phobias. And hers is of blood, and I get it. Kids get hurt, and sometimes there's blood. But thankfully, you were there. I mean, we all agree she is sad, that she was thankful that you were there. Thank goodness you walked in when you did, and that you were there to be supportive.
Absolutely.
Well,
yes.
Your Honor, this isn't the first time they've said I've basically saved their lives. I have, in my evidence, I have texts where they've said, thank you for saving us again.
Okay, well, hold on before we leave this. I want to understand why you posted this picture on social media. That's what I want to
This
understand.
was after at the hospital, after they had cleaned it out, right before they put in the 2 stitches. And I was just so relieved to see it looking better than it was. I just snapped a picture and...
I get that maybe you snapped a picture, but then why would you post it on social media?
Just to tell everyone that everything was okay.
So we find out that this wasn't just a nanny. She was the live-in nanny, and the parents explain exactly why they fired her. Apparently, she posted a picture of their injured child online with their names included. Excuse me, Miss Nanny, what are you doing? If you're taking care of somebody else's kids, rule number 1, their life is not your social media content. Honey, if you enjoy having a paycheck, maybe you don't upload your employer's family business to the internet. Like, I feel like that's an honest and pretty solid career strategy. But then we hear the story. The child gets hurt, mom panics, and the nanny steps in to help. Awesome. That's exactly what nannies are supposed to do. But then she runs to social media like she just won the Medal of Honor. And I'm like, girl, you don't get bonus points for doing your stinking job that you were hired to do. Like, imagine your dentist posting, everybody clap for me. I filled a cavity today. This person doesn't floss. Everyone shame on them. Like, hello. That's literally the assignment. That's the whole point you went to school. That's the whole point that you took the job. And then she acts like, I'm super nanny. You can't fire me. I'm like, ma'am, being good at your job doesn't erase terrible judgment on your part. Posting somebody else's kid online, especially after they've been injured, is the kind of decision that gets employers questioning everything else. These are not your kids. Let me just be clear on that. They're not your content. They're not your Facebook success story. I feel like boomers need to realize that you don't need to post every single dang thing online. And Judge Hatchett is trying to decide whether this firing was justified. And I'm over here wondering how anybody thought uploading a family emergency was going to end with a performance bonus instead of a cardboard box full of personal belongings.
We had been in the hospital all day. And
this photo does not indicate that everything is okay.
it's better than it was when I got there.
Pointing out that our child had a small incident. Incidents happen for parents.
I have been posting Instagram photos of this family for the entirety of my 10 months. And they've never had a problem before. I never show their eyes or their faces. This was probably the most of a person I've ever shown in any of my photos.
So now you show the injury, but it also implies, and let's just be very clear about this, Super Nanny saves the bronze again. They wouldn't survive without me. Hashtag Super Nanny, hashtag saves the day, ... I mean, seriously. Why would you do that?
Your Honor, I have about 18,000 followers, and they all know me as a super nanny. I have many clients who have called me that. I've never had a dissatisfied client in my entire career as a nanny. And before that, as a kindergarten teacher, I never had any problems. I have posted all kinds of photos, and in this case, it was near the end of a very long, trying day, and I was very proud of the work I had done.
You're very proud of the work that you had done, aka the hero who saved the day because mom has a phobia of bodily fluids and she passed out onto the ground. And so you come and you save the day. Girl, listen, you are the nanny. Your whole point is to be the lifesaver of the family. Your whole point is for you to bend over backwards and make life easier for everyone. And guess what? If I don't like the sight of my kid's injury and I pass out, you want to know what makes my life easier? Is the fact that you're there to help out. So I don't understand why you think, well, I post pictures all the time. There was never an issue. Girl, you literally in the courtroom were shaming the mom for having this phobia of body fluids. You were shaming her for passing out. And what did you do instead? You post about it to shame the parents and you name names. Listen, I'm all for being like grateful that the kid is okay. I'm so glad I was there. But when you're showing up and you're posting kids' injuries online, girl, that is weird. That is really weird. That is like Ellen DeGeneres weird.
Keeping everybody safe, not just Julius, but Bethany. I had to bring her to her preschool. I basically handled everything. I'm the one who called the hospital. I'm the one who called Gerald and said, meet us at the hospital, and coordinated everything.
I don't doubt all of that. And I think that that's absolutely what you should have done. And what I've heard them say is that they were deeply grateful because it could have been a very different situation had she been passed out and another child got hurt while she was passed out. And you came in and you did make the situation better. But that's what you're supposed to do. That is what you're supposed to do. So what else happened? We had this incident with this posting. What else happened?
Right. Previous incidents. This was the last straw incident. This was the end of the line for us.
So what happened leading up to this?
So yeah, as we said, this was the straw that broke the camel's back. But before this, we had instances of neighbors coming up to us. I mean, my wife had been dropping somebody off at the preschool. I'm not there when she drops off the children for the preschool and picks them up. But apparently, one of our friends, she said something about his car seat. There's a text message here that we can refer to, actually.
Janine was doing preschool pickup, and that is when she interacted with Robert.
So who is Robert?
A school friend, a family friend.
Family friend, Your Honor.
All right.
Well, he has a kid as well at the same school as
So he has a kid
Bethany.
at the same school.
With Bethany, yeah.
And Janine is dropping the kids off at school.
Right.
And encounters Robert.
Right.
And what happens?
And she says that they need a new car seat for...
I have a text from Robert.
Let me see that.
Yeah, we'd love to share that
You
with
can have it. You actually have that, I believe, Your Honor, already. It says, yeah, Gerald, I'm not sure how to tell you this. Your nanny, Janine, is overstepping. She told Margaret and me that we should get a new stroller and a car seat and that we weren't keeping our children safe. And she's been doing this to multiple friends of ours, Your Honor. She will constantly overstep and comment on their parenting style, the food that they should eat. And so this was, and we've talked to her about this before.
My concern is the kids.
So, I mean, she did suggest that the car seat might not have been appropriate, and I would hope that if that was the case, that she would point it out. Talked about the diapers and so forth. But apparently, Robert and his wife didn't appreciate this.
That's overstepping. These are our
they're
friends.
not even our kids.
Yeah.
They're not.
If you want to comment that way, do it to your own children, but you don't have any. These are our kids. These are our friends' children.
I have 2 children and grandchildren.
Now listen, if somebody's car seat is not functioning right and the kid is in danger, I would expect the nanny or anybody to make a comment about it regardless of whose kids they are, because that's just being a good person. But at the end of the day, if you are speaking about it in a way that's shameful or you're shaming parents for it and you're not doing it in a way that's like, I'm trying to help save your kid's life, then I feel like you're overstepping, because the problem is not necessarily the fact that she's, noticing something that's a problem and then bringing it up and saying, look, you should change this. The problem is that this nanny thinks that she's God's given gift to nannyhood, that she should get her own TV show on TLC and kick the other super nanny off of that show and become her own version of the nanny. But listen, what you are is just an old lady with some experience, and that's okay. But you can't sit there and shame people for different parenting choices, because not everybody's going to make the same choices. Not everyone is going to raise their kids the same way. Your goal is to be there and make their life easier, not make them feel ashamed for being parents. And if I woke up every day and I felt ashamed for how I was parenting constantly when I was really doing the best I could, I'd probably fire the nanny too.
So what else happened? Tell me what else happened.
She also was criticizing our parenting.
That's what I want to
she's
get to,
not
because that's
around.
really the heart of this case.
Right.
What happened with that? And then I want to hear from you, Janine.
Your Honor, they're not great parents. I love them. I love them with all my heart.
So tell me why you think they're not great parents.
They're working all the time. Even when they are home, they don't make time for their kids. Whenever the kids want to play a game, they plop them in front of the television. Or when the kids want to, Mommy, read me a book, they'll just get a children's audio book. They don't interact with their kids. I am practically the primary parent. They're barely there. They don't know how to clean up. I don't think they've cleaned a house in their life.
We overwork because we're working for our family, for our kids. When we get home, by the time we get home, we're done.
Well, let me tell you that that's a question of balance. Because I had a very demanding job. Have always had very demanding jobs, frankly. I had to set priorities. And yes, it was taxing and it was difficult, but I had to do what was important to me to try to be the best parent, the best mother I could possibly be. You're saying that the situation with the Post, where your son was injured, was the final straw.
Yeah.
Right.
So what did you do then?
Well, we found the post not on our own, but rather my mother sent it to me before I even said a word to her about what had happened today. So you can imagine how stressed my mother was to see this post.
Listen, does the dad sound like Kermit the Frog?
I just wanna be part of yourself.
Yes, he does a little bit. But the thing is that the nanny cannot have her way in telling that these parents that they're the bad parents. Listen, I've seen my fair share of bad parents, and some of them will not really care to do much work for their kids. But in my opinion, I feel like the nanny just is not doing her nanny duties. She's thinking that she just wants to overtake and control the situation. And I feel like if you're gonna go and do that to these poor parents who are just doing their best, because listen, honey, when you were a parent, you probably were able to not work a job and just raise your kids and then enjoy being a grandmother. But in this day and age, parents are literally barely scraping by. And so for them to go and work and put food on the table and have enough money to hire a live-in nanny who spends the night in the house, it only tells me that maybe perhaps the situation is that, yeah, they're not going to pick up the whole house and clean it constantly. They're not going to go and make sure that every little small detail is perfect because they're focusing on what matters most. And listen, honey, you're the nanny. You live there. You are quite literally putting your head on their pillow. I think you could maybe do some sweeping. Maybe you could put some dishes away. Maybe you could fold some laundry. I don't know. All I'm saying is that I think you are probably one of the worst nannies I've ever seen or heard of.
And then, of course, brings it back to me. It had been a very long day for me and for Gerald, and of course for Janina as well. But just adding that to the end of the day was the last straw for us, and just getting this horrified phone call from my mother when I'm barely awake at this point.
She didn't even ask permission to post this photo, Your
Right.
Honor. It just appeared.
Your Honor, I have.
So now you have been, but she's been posting, and I agree that this was not appropriate to post this. I've already told you that.
Yeah.
And I've said to her, I don't think it was appropriate to post this picture of the child being injured, and then to kind of go on to say, toot your own horn, that I am the super nanny, and basically if it were not for me, they would be
Your
up the
Honor,
creek.
these
I'm
are-
talking. So let me ask you this. When she posted other things on social media, why didn't you pull her back from that?
Well, because it was a positive light. There was nothing that was defaming us or immoral of that. I mean, it would just be occasional nice pictures, and I have no problem, and I don't think that...
Sandcastles,
Yeah.
fun things they were doing, those are fine.
Yeah, it's what she does in her own time. That's okay. But to post a
And
picture...
it wasn't pictures of the kids' faces or anything.
No one was
but
cut.
And she didn't show the
sandcastle
baby's
and
face, but she did say your name.
Exactly.
Yes.
And she did basically show that he had been injured.
Yes.
Right.
And then
And
had
then
it not been
pointed
for her,
right at
it would
us.
say, I can see how that would be really,
Yes,
really...
with our names attached.
I get that. I think that that's not a good situation. Why not give her 2 weeks' notice and just say, here's your check, thank you very much, and let her go her way?
Your Honor, this was at the end of the day. So to kind of give you my perspective on it,
Please.
I was at work and I get this crazy call about how my wife is injured, my son is injured. So I zoom over to the hospital and she's being checked to see if she has a concussion. She's in the MRI machine and thankfully my son's fine. He only ended up having 2 stitches. He was very,
It's
very
interesting.
brave.
Children recover a lot quicker than parents. do.
Yeah.
I know that to be a fact.
Yeah.
I get that. I get that as a parent. But so now why not just give her notice, give her a check for the $17.60 and say, thank you, but this is not working? I mean, why not just do that?
I mean, Your Honor, this was the last straw. I mean, like, you in your contract, you can actually clearly say,
I read the part about how you could terminate her. And basically, it does say that if she has done something seriously that was immoral, which she has not, or she was being grossly derelict of her duties, which she technically was not, But she used poor judgment in posting that picture. I admit that.
Listen, Judge Hatchett, I get where you're going when you're saying, well, she didn't derelict her duties or she didn't, do something immoral. But listen here, she took a child that she doesn't own, that is not hers, that had an injury and posted that injury on her Instagram, and then took that photo post and added the parents in and shamed them. Listen, Judge, I'm sorry, but I feel like you don't realize that this is the type of situation that could get CPS called on them. This is very slanderous, if you will, because it's alluding to the fact that the parents don't take care of their kids. And if you're not willing to see it that way and you're just gonna make this whole thing pointless, I'm sorry, I just disagree with you. I think that the nanny needs to, realize that what she did was wrong, because it creates an even worse situation for the kids in the long run. Because if the parents end up having CPS called, that could be really damaging to the children. And I feel like, parents are seeing it, other people are seeing the post. It really stirs up a lot of bad things. So I disagree, Judge, that it's just, she didn't do anything really that wrong. She should have done it, but she didn't do anything that wrong. I feel like it's more than just a poor judgment thing. And if you just label it as that, then it creates a dangerous slippery slope.
But why not just pay her and just be done?
Well, Your Honor, we are seeing the definition of that serious immoral behavior. I think there might be a disagreement here between that.
Oh, yeah.
I view that as very immoral, and this was...
But listen, I've been a judge for a long time. Let me tell you what's immoral. When a nanny then beats a child. Posting a picture was really not wise. But under this contract, in my opinion, which is the only opinion that matters, it was not immoral. I get it. I get that you're disgusted. I get that you're frustrated. I get that. But under the terms of this contract, as I read it, she was entitled to the 2 weeks. I am going to grant her $1,760 in judgment for the plaintiff. But I am not happy about this. Let me tell you, I am not happy about this. I think this is very poor judgment, but I am bound to follow the law. And so judgment entered in your favor for $1,760 will stand adjourned.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The co-defendants have been ordered to pay $1,760.
I'm sorry, you say this is the last straw? It's the first time I ever heard anything from you. If you had any problems with the way I was raising your children, that never came to me.
We've mentioned to you a number of times the overstepping, talking to us about how we prepare food.
Our new nanny, Stacy, she doesn't use any children for clout on social media.
Well, she's not full-time either. Maybe she's just not there enough.
Stop. Let's gather your belongings.
All right, guys, listen. Judge Hatchett, I think she made the wrong ruling on this. Now, don't be all mad at me, guys, saying, well, what legal right do you have? Oh, Judge Hatchett is the judge, and that's why you're not. I know I'm not the judge. I've never claimed to be the judge in this situation. I'm just giving you guys my thoughts and opinions. But I will say this. I feel like the judge made the wrong call, because you could consider this whole thing moral failure or whatnot as, relative, because you may say one thing is wrong and the other person may not think there's anything wrong with it. Like, for example, I don't post my kids' faces online, but some people do and they think it's fine. I'm just saying, if I post a picture of my kid, most likely their face is not going to be on it. And I feel like there's a reason behind that, and it's a moral reason. And if other people do it, I'm not saying that they're immoral, but I do think that if someone were to take it and post a picture of my kid with an injury and then badmouth me, that's a problem. That's a big problem with me. So I disagree with the judge's take on this. I feel like it might have to do with her not really have a full understanding of why it's a problem. But anyways, what do you guys think about this? Would you have fired her right away? Would you have felt like you would have to pay her? Do you think the judge is right on this? Let me know in the comments down below.